Welcome to Explore Grant County. It's the kickoff of our election coverage, and I'm happy to have Jason Seitz here with us. Jason,
Happy to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Beautiful day out there.
It is. A little chilly. I can't believe it's the first day of spring, and we got these cold temps.
Right
Sunny,
in between when I have to do wood and mow. So I got a week reprieve
Yeah.
from manual labor around the house.
Yeah. I'm gearing up for the pool, so we are a month away today. The pool opens, believe it or not.
It's good what you've
Or
done
2 months.
for the kids.
Sorry, 2
this
months.
summer.
2 months.
Yeah,
May, not April. Yeah. Yeah, so we're excited, but you have a big campaign going on right now.
I'm running for circuit judge, and it's 2 counties. It's Grant and Mineral.
And I believe I'm right on this. Correct me if I'm not. Is it Circuit 25?
Yes, we were right. Today we're the 21st Circuit, and Tucker County's still with us. But the state legislature looked at workload, looked at how many judges there were, and did a lot of redistricting. You had areas in southern West Virginia with a population decline that had too many judges. You've got areas around Parkersburg, Eastern Panhandle growing. They needed more judges. So they shook it all up, and we switched to the 25th Circuit, and Tucker County went with Preston, so we're down to just 2.
Okay, so that's what you'll be looking for on the ballot, 25th. So what is it now? It's part of Mineral and Grant?
All.
Is what? All of Mineral.
Yeah, circuits, judicial circuits aren't like House of the delegates or the Senate, where they kind of split counties.
Yeah.
They gerrymander a little bit. It's the whole county because your jurisdiction, for example, criminal jurisdiction in Grant County Circuit Court, the crime had to occur in Grant County. So you really couldn't run a party line down Route 42 without creating a problem, because you're also entitled to a jury of your peers. So it's the whole county. That's the way it works.
Explain to me how this works. That judge, whoever it is that's elected, do they, 1 week they'll be in Mineral County holding court, the next week Grant, or how does that work?
It's a good question. The newly formed 25th Judicial Circuit, 2 counties, 2 judges. So, for example, we're both seats are up for election.
Okay.
But it's not the 2 highest vote getters. You run for a seat. So Judge Currier, who's the current judge, he's running for Division 2 unopposed. So if you're betting man, he's going to win.
Yeah, unopposed. That's what you would love to have happen.
He will get elected, and he's a good judge. And he'll serve. It's an 8-year term. Then I'm running for Division 1, and there are 4 of us. Highest vote getter, if they get to 30%, will win.
And what happens if if the 30% number's not hit?
It's never happened.
Oh, okay.
No.
So
it's a brand new law.
Oh, okay.
So it couldn't have happened.
Gotcha.
This is the first election. What it was really designed for, I think our family court judge raced 6 years ago. There was a bunch of people running, and no one hit 30%. So sometimes in large areas, mathematically it's possible with 4. It wouldn't be with 3. Someone's at least going to get 33%.
Yeah.
But when you get to 4, it's possible.
So new law, and it could happen.
It could happen. If you get up to 5, 6, 7, it gets more likely, the way it's split up. And so if that happens, my understanding is the top 2 vote getters would have a runoff in November at the general election.
Gotcha.
But I'm sure it'll happen somewhere in the state, and
okay,
maybe here.
Interesting. So I'm glad that you know all these new laws that have to go into effect, which I imagine would be part of being a judge, keeping current.
They give you a lot of continuing education. I believe it's important for a judge to have a broad knowledge of the law. Laws become specialized, much like medicine. So, how many of some, like if you were a patent law attorney, you're not going to have any of that. So it really didn't, you still have a law degree, you've still been a lawyer, but if you've been a patent attorney or a maritime attorney,
or a divorce lawyer, still a lawyer, but
Divorce law used to be, circuit judges used to do it years ago. Okay. Then they created the family law master that took over your chapter 47 domestic, child custody, child support, divorce. Then they became family court judges, but the appeal from family court went to circuit court.
Okay.
With the creation of the Intermediate Court of Appeals that went into effect 2 years ago, now that goes to intermediate court. So you really don't have, you get some child abuse and neglect law in Chapter 48 and juvenile delinquencies, juvenile status offenses, but the divorce probably doesn't help a lot with the job. I mean, you got a lot of criminal law. You got civil law. You know, there's personal injury. There's tort, regular negligence cases. You've got a lot of real estate cases, boundary line disputes, right-of-way disputes.
So that's all things that you would be handling if elected, would be those types of...
A circuit court judge has broad general jurisdiction. Now, magistrate court is civil under 10,000. They can't do anything with real property. They have misdemeanor crimes, and they begin the felony process if you request a preliminary hearing, but you're not formally charged till the grand jury indicts you, and that would be in circuit court. So it's broad jurisdiction. One little interesting carve out is matters of probate. You know, if you're doing the will, the probate of an estate, that still sets in county court under our Constitution, which is now the county commission.
Okay.
Which, if you're a civics buff, county commission is the only form of government where all three branches are in one body. You know, they're the executive branch, and make decisions and ordinances, or the legislative branch, they can make county ordinances. And for matters of probate, they're the judicial branch.
Wow, I did not know that. That's interesting.
It's a lot of what we do. You carry scars. If you've done it long enough, it's fun to have a fun fact.
So, for those of you, or for those that might not know you, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, sure. How you came to be, because I'm assuming right now you're a lawyer, so how you came to be, kind of give us your path leading up to this.
Sure. Grew up here in Petersburg. My parents are from here, so my grandparents were here. It was nice to grow up with grandparents right there, and they could be involved in my activities. And I was active. I did 4-H. I did Little League, everything. You know, I grew up right here in town. I graduated from Petersburg High School. I played football, basketball, tennis. Graduated in 1993, and I went to WVU. And I was in kind of a pre-med track, and then switched into wildlife biology, which is less than useful in my current vocation.
What made that switch?
Foreign language. To get a biology degree, I needed several semesters of Spanish, and I chose not to. I really would like to think that as much Latin as they made us learn for scientific names, that should have counted.
Yeah.
But for wildlife biology, I didn't have to have it. But, you know, I had a lot of labs, but they went from being inside in biology to outside in wildlife. But I enjoyed my education. It was a good wildlife program. And got through 4 years. I took the LSAT. I applied to WVU, which at that time was a good law school, a top 50 law school. I got accepted and stayed in Morgantown. I was there 7 straight years. Wow. So I got out of law school, took the bar, passed, had some job opportunities in Charleston, or, you know, with my medical background, undergraduate, not a real medical provider, but biology knowledge, I was probably well suited to do some type of med-mal defense work because I spoke the language. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to come back home. This was where I grew up. In 85, the flood, this community got tight, and I just wanted to be a part of it. That's where I wanted to raise a family. So I came back home and been here 24 years practicing law.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched myself go from a young attorney asking a bunch of questions to the old man that people were asking.
That's always a nice transition, isn't it?
Until you look in a mirror.
Yeah. So, what kind of caused you then to say, okay, I'm gonna run to be a judge now?
I've always kind of thought like that. It hasn't been real helpful in litigation because I'm always just trying to find what's reasonable and what's probably a just result. But when I'm advocating on behalf of my client, they want it all. Yeah. And so it's. But when I would write orders, when I would do things for the judge, it's just it's a different kind of thought process to blend all the different areas of law into, because they overlap more than you think. You know, like when you were saying divorce law, it's not just divorce law. Those divorce attorneys are practicing. They're dealing with tax implications, real property implications. Mm-hmm. The different areas of law do intertwine, and that happens in litigation. I did my time. I did a lot of criminal law and some bad cases. Was kind of done with that. Started doing a lot of transactional law, deeds, wills. I really like helping people with wills. That's fun to get them an estate plan, help them preserve and pass their wealth, and understand that everything's taken care of now. We don't have to worry about that anymore. You know, they appreciate you. That's often we don't get appreciated. But I was doing that type of stuff, but I still like the courtroom. And I probably try more cases than anybody. I had one today. I've had 4 this year already. Now, some are bench trials. They're much faster. It's not like TV or OJ where you're on trial for months. But I like the courtroom and trying cases. But I just... Several people asked me, they said, "You're going to run, aren't you? You're going to run. We think you'd make a good judge." So I thought about it a while and talked it over with my family, and I came into it late. You know, the other 3 candidates were campaigning and filed pre-candidacy. I didn't decide till almost the end of the filing period that, I'm going to do it. Also, there was a chance of could you win? With the 2 counties, Grant County is the little county.
Yeah.
You know, Mineral's got more than twice as many votes. So if there's just one Grant and one Mineral on the ballot, it's hard to win if this is your address. A lot of people don't come into the judicial bubble, the judicial system bubble. They don't occasion that in their everyday life. So they really don't know the ability of the attorney, whether that attorney has characteristics that would make a good judge. And I think they get in the voter's booth and they look at the address. I mean, we've probably done it for like state electoral positions. You look at the address and vote who's close. So that's the uphill battle. And when 2 people filed in Mineral County, I was like, I actually got a shot. It's just time consuming. Campaigning is
a
lot of time.
And you've been around and you've spoken a couple of different places, and it takes up a lot of your time. What do you think would be, because, I mean, there's some things we can't talk about. I can't ask you what a verdict would be. You're not allowed to give. But what do you think would be the major difference from being the lawyer and then having to come and sit and hear lawyers, plead their case to you as a judge? What do you think that biggest difference would be?
I mean, I've practiced in a lot of different areas of law, so there's going to be areas that I don't have much experience in. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do it. I want to continue to learn. I actually love the law. I love jurisprudence and these doctrines. You might get some type of... I've never done a medical malpractice case. So if I got to sit on the bench and hear that, I'm going to kind of have to do some research. But that's no different than researching it if I was going to take that case. Biggest difference, that's an excellent question. I guess the best way I can answer that is with a question. What is justice? So if you ask that question, what is justice? Because that's what we're striving for in the legal system. if you are a defense attorney or a civil attorney, justice would probably be defined as what is best for my client. What do they feel is best? What that would be just for them. May not be how you personally feel, but you took an oath to do a job, you advocate on their behalf, that's justice in that case. If you're a prosecuting attorney, what is justice? Justice would be what's best for society. You know, what keeps society safe? Well, what amount of retribution is due to this person convicted? That's justice in a criminal realm. You got victims' rights and other things. With a judge, justice should always be served. You're administering justice for the public in a fair and unbiased manner. So you've got to check your personal opinion to some degree and follow the rule of law. That's what you swore to do. That's what you're bound to do. And the only way the system can really work is if you do so blindly. You can't play favorites. You can't play politics.
That's why she wears the blindfold.
That would be the dream, and I would try to strive to make that occur. But I guess if that starts to tie around how to answer your question, for years I've been advocating on my client's behalf. Now I got to play the referee, basically, which I've done. I've done little league basketball for years, so that might qualify me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the fundamental fairness, the administrator of justice. That's a little different role.
Yeah, it would be difficult at first to wrap your head around that. You know, if you're on, defense attorney or whatever, you're coming into a total different role. You know, I still think it would be hard as a defense attorney if you felt your client was guilty to have to try to get that person off. And everyone's built different. I don't know if I could be a defense attorney. That would be so hard.
That question gets asked a lot, and as I touched on earlier, you do it long enough, you carry scars. The reports I've read, the things I've done, the people I've represented, but you took an oath. You took an oath to do a job and uphold the Constitution, and they're entitled to an attorney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we need them. We need
the
them.
only thing you can say, let's say you're an ER doctor, and there's a guy doing something really bad, and he gets shot in the middle of that, and they bring him in. Yeah. You don't play God, you treat the patient. They took an oath. I don't play God, I do my job. Let the system work. And the way the system's designed is no innocent person should ever go to jail. To achieve that, some guilty people will get set free. That's the balancing. But as a defense attorney, you want to keep the system healthy. So if a police officer, the rules of evidence are not being applied correctly, or if a police officer violated one of your Bill of Rights, your constitutional rights, you want to call that. You want to check that. So no innocent person ever gets... Defense attorneys keep the system healthy. Now, it's not a good job, but, some people look at you funny, but
it's all checks and balances, all interwoven into our legal system that kind of...
So I want you to understand it's necessary so that no one gets wrongfully convicted. And it's tough. Some people can do it. Some people have had enough of it.
Yeah. So give your speech. Why should we vote Jason Seitz for Judge Circuit 25? What makes you qualified? Your impassioned plea. Like, I guess a summation.
Yeah. Conclusory statement?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from here. I understand the people. I understand the culture. And I really love both counties, really. I've been involved in them a lot. A judge should be part of the community. It's in the judicial canons. It's advised that they be part of the community. So I've been involved in a lot, and you can't get stuck in your office and not know what's going on in the community. You got to be a part of that. I have a broad knowledge of law. I've done a lot of different things. So, for example, like I do a lot of real estate litigation. citizens would be served by that, because now we're not dealing with a criminal case that might not be a sympathetic litigant.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with two good people that are arguing over something, and why should they have to spend a ridiculous amount of money because the judge didn't get it right?
Yeah.
Some of these can be settled. There's law there. We just don't. Not everyone does that. So that knowledge would be helpful to the good litigants. Good people that shouldn't have to unnecessarily go through a litigation that is emotionally taxing on the litigants. I have broad knowledge. Age is something you need to consider. I mean, when are you? I ran 8 years ago. I was probably too young. When do you have enough life experience to be qualified to judge your fellow man? When do you have enough legal experience to be qualified? That's up to the voters, but there's a sweet spot, because you also got to be young enough to handle it in this new digital age with e-filing and all of this. And I mean, you could get elected and be a good judge if you have that ability. It takes some experience on the bench to be a great judge. And if you start too late in the game, you're never going to have those number of years to make it. So the age is a unique thing. People don't really consider that often. Community involvement, broad legal experience. I think common sense and reasonableness. As I mentioned, the way I practice law, with my scientific background, it was more analytical of an approach as opposed to a philosophical approach about who owns a fox philosophically. It was like, who owns the fox? There's some analytics here. So common sense and reason still have room in the law, to effectively administer justice. The best thing is ask someone why they want to do it. If someone wants to do it for power, don't check that box. It's too dangerous. If someone wants to do it for money, probably don't check that box. You deserve a good attorney on the bench, and maybe you can make more money in private practice. If someone wants to do it for a love of the law because they want to continue to learn, if they're truly civic-minded and want to give back to the community, maybe those are noble reasons, and you might have a safe bet. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that's me. Get to know your client. Get to know your candidate, and make your own mind up. But I want to give back to the community in that fashion. I did my 12 years of court-appointed work. I've been doing 12 more years of a lot of pro bono work. I give back to a lot of fire departments, communities, churches, for free legal advice. And they just all started telling me, why don't you run for judge? You'd make a good judge. So I was like, yeah, I'll give back that way. Let me see if I can do that. So I'd like to do it. I'd like to be your judge. It's a pretty unique application process. You file for candidate, you go around and talk for a little bit. Some politicians just show up from now to May and you never see them again. Check it out. See who's been doing it for years.
Yeah. So, what are some of the ways maybe you have some upcoming events or something that can people check you out at? I know this is one of the ways to get to know them. And I did say Explore Grant County, but I forgot. It'll be on Explore Mineral County as well, because since you're running in Mineral and Grant. So do you have anything upcoming that people can...
It's absolutely brutal with two counties. I'm somewhere almost every day. You want to make yourself accessible to as many people as you can, just so they can form their own opinion. I'll be talking to different organizations. There's a couple Meet the Candidates in late April, and there's 2 in Grant County and 2 in Mineral, and they're both on the same day. Both times.
Oh, man.
And so you do your best. And then I have other obligations. I've yet to see how I can do everything. I had a commitment to something at the church. And I may miss a Meet the Candidate to go do what I've already been obligated kind of to do. I just feel like I should do that. I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm probably going to do what I feel morally obligated to do as opposed to what might be selfishly motivated. So I might not even be at one of them.
I think was April 20th.
20th is the big
one. That's at the Landis Arts Center.
20th, I have a Meet the Candidates at 1 o'clock in Mineral County. I think it's in a parking lot at the Episcopal Church. The Republican executive Meet the Candidates that evening, I believe at 6. And Maysville Bible Brethren Church Wildlife Game Feed is at that evening. I don't know the time yet. So if I can get to everything, I will. But it's that way every day. You know, I got daughters running track. Sometimes I'm going to miss something political to be with family. Can't be everywhere.
No, and it's a hard balancing act. You always got to decide.
You just gotta keep smiling.
Yeah. Well, I really do appreciate you coming in and chatting with us.
It's good. I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, I think it was informative. I'm not a true politician. You can tell I kind of wasn't real good at selling myself. I'd rather just find out for yourself. I mean, now I'm a politician. I'm a lawyer. Can you even believe anything I'm saying?
It's the double whammy.
I might as well sell used cars. But I want voters to get educated. That's the thing. But no matter what office you're looking at, find the qualifications of the applicant that would best suit the job, because it is a hiring process, and the voter's the boss. That's who's making the hire.
And this was, I believe you said, this is an 8-year term.
Circuit judge is an 8-year term.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of officers are 4-year terms, like magistrate, sheriff. Some of them are 6. Some of your clerks are on 6-year terms. That's why they're not all up this time.
Yeah, I'm always trying to figure out who's running and what's going on. So
they'll let you know. You'll see signs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Loads and loads of them. Well, I do appreciate you coming and talking with us. Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
And that's Jason Seitz, Circuit Court Judge, and that's the 25th Circuit, newly formed.
Yep.
So that everyone knows, you know, if people keep up on that but didn't know that it was changed. So we just want to make sure everyone knows.
Serving Grant and Mineral County. We're down to just 2 counties.
Okay. Perfect. Well, everyone, that's the kickoff of our election coverage. Hopefully we have more to go. This one will be on Explore Grant County and Explore Mineral County, but you can check out all of our pages. Thank you once again, everyone. Have a great day.